What's going on, everyone? This is my first official YouTube video. I've been posting shorts and things, but those are kind of boring. So I'm making a real video today. We're going to be building a overland camping setup in my Dodge Durango. I want to be able to sleep in my car if I go camping and things, because I'm kind of tired of setting up tents. It takes too long. I want to just be able to pull over and go to sleep. So we're going to build a nice little bed setup with some drawers and yeah. So let's get started with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my third row seating. Same with my back seat. I already pulled out my sub box, so that's out of the way. But I got to get this seat out. And then I got to get the third row out so I can make the room to be able to start this project. So I'm going to go grab all the tools I need. I think some of them are right there, and pull both these out. All right, just like that. Got all the interior removed. I still got to remove the seat belts right there, and then relocate these once I build the bed system. But now that this is all cleared, we can go to Home Depot and get all the wood and materials we need to build this. So let's go to Home Depot. All right, so we're back from Home Depot. I got 3 sheets of plywood. I got 3 2x10s. That I'm probably not going to use. I just got it just in case. I got 2 things of LED lights for the drawers. Box of screws. 2 hinges. And 2 handles. So, yeah, let's get started with this project. I need to cut this 2x10 in half at 4 feet. That's how long the drawer system is going to be. So let me set you guys up for a time lapse and let me get all these cut up. All right, so I got these all cut. My blade is very dull, so I wasn't liking cutting through it, but these are the only 3 I should need for now. So I'm gonna go mock those up to where I want them and then get the measurements that I'm gonna need for this plywood. So let's do that. All right, so I had this piece laying extra. I don't need this piece, so I use this as how wide I'm gonna need my plywood to be between this cubby and that little cubby. And then these pieces will be on both sides for structural for the drawers, and then I'll have one directly in the middle, and then I'll have a drawer on each side of it. And these are 4 feet long 2x10s. So now I'm gonna go measure this onto the plywood, get exactly the amount I need for the bottom piece, and then I'll let you know the measurements for that as well. All right, I got it cut. It's 4 feet long by 44.5 inches wide. It's coming along. Now I just gotta take all that out. I'm gonna make sure it fits perfectly snug, flat, and then we'll screw these 3 boards on, and then we'll move on to making the top, which will be a lot wider because I'm going to go going above these cubbies right here. And then, yeah, so let's get that done. All right, I forgot to press record of me test fitting this piece. Fits great. That'll be like the main the main base of the drawer system. It's a little odd in some spots because the plastic bends, but I'm not gonna worry about that. You're not really gonna notice it that much. And then it's about how far forward it comes, because right here I want to do it differently and have different room. This isn't going to be drawers, but yeah, it fits pretty good in here. So now let's take this thing back out, and then let's put the boards here, middle, and that side, and then we'll make the top. All right, now I got these all mounted in. Pretty solid. I'd use a crap ton of screws just because I don't want this thing falling apart. So now I need to build a back for it, and then we can throw it back in the car and get started on the top. All right, we got it in. It was a very tight squeeze because there's a lip right there, so we had to like do some weird things. You saw it. So now what I need to do is, this part is off the ground, so I need to build some legs to go in here somewhere, probably like right here, down, and make sure this is fully level, and then we can move on to the next step. All right, we got both the legs in, both sides, just so it's a little stronger, you know, because when you're laying on it, I don't want it to. So I just screwed it in there. Don't mind the missed hole, both corners. So now let's work on getting the top from here back done, and then I'll relocate my amps. I'm probably gonna mount them to this, actually. It's a good spot. And then we'll work on the piece from here over. All right, as you can see, I got the whole top on. There's some gaps in some spots, but I'm not too worried about that. You're not gonna see that once there's a memory foam mattress topper on it. So that's what that area looks like. And then this is what the back looks like, got the legs. I'm gonna add some more board here, one of the 1x2 probably like right here, all the way around, or all the way across. So then the other piece of plywood has more to sit onto. And then we'll come out to here with some legs, probably a couple support beams coming out. But first, I gotta grab these amps and relocate them to this. So let me do that real quick and I'll get back. All right, it is the next day. It got dark while setting these up. Got these all mounted onto the box, looking all decent. The wires all running down the middle and under my carpet. So now I gotta clean up all this stuff. We'll vacuum it, and then we will start mocking up this board that goes over and down. So yeah, let me throw you guys on time lapse and get this shit all cleaned up. All right, I got this clean for the most part. It's not perfect, but it's gonna get dirty while building this anyways, with all the wood and painting and shit, because I have to paint this while it's in here. So I'm gonna game plan how I want to do this, get my seats as far back as I'm gonna want them, and then I'll put you guys on time lapse when I start building this part. All right, I got my seats adjusted exactly straight, with the passenger being able to be comfy and me. Got I'm building a custom center console as well, but that doesn't matter. I just put that in for some reference. What I'm thinking is I'm gonna put a 2x4, there, cut it about at 17, then have a 2x4 running out, and then a 2x4 going down, and that'll be like the middle support. And then I'll have the plywood coming out with legs on both sides, maybe a leg here and here. So I'm gonna figure out this part, get this board figured out, and then we'll figure out the rest. All right, so we got that middle brace, because I'm going to use 2 different sheets of plywood here. So what we need to do now is cut a piece from here to halfway to the 2x4, and then over to probably almost the back of the seat, pretty much touching it. And then I'm going to do a leg here at the end of it and a leg there at the end of it. So let's go get our measurements and then cut that out. Completely forgot to start the time lapse, so I'll do that now. All right, and there we go. There's the top boards on. This seat will come back just a hair. And the cuts aren't completely straight, but that's okay, because these 2 pieces, I'm only putting a few screws in each spot, so I can easily remove it and set it up here for when I go camping with the dog. You know, he can ride in here with this not here. So I want this to be easily removable. And then this side, also all good. Now I just need to make legs for each corner. And yeah, so let's get that done. All right, and just like that, legs are done. Pretty solid. Now, the last building thing we need to do, let's build both these drawers, put the LED lights on them, the handles, and then I gotta go buy some paint to paint this thing. Yeah, look at all that room. I wanted it specifically from here back of drawer system, and then I wanted to be able to have room here and room under there to store things. Oh yeah, this thing's coming out sick, so let's finish it up and build these drawers. All right, there we go. I got the bed sides cut, or the drawer sides cut. Now I just need to make the bottom piece that's gonna go onto it, and then the back as well. So let's get that cut out. All right, we got both the bottoms cut. That one's in there, that one's there. So now what I'm gonna do is screw the sides on, measure the back to get the back piece perfect, and then we'll slide it in and then get the front done. All right, and there's both the drawers sides on. Now let's measure the back pieces, get the backs on, and then we'll slide these in and then do the fronts. All right, I got the drawers done. Don't mind the crappy cut. This is just structural. There's gonna be a face plate over these. You're not gonna see it. The drawers are nice and done. That one I can't get to yet until I have a handle, but yeah. I know it looks ugly, but just trust the process. Once it's done, it'll look good. So let's build the face plate for it, and then put handles on, and then I'll go get some paint and paint this thing. There we go. And that's with the little face covers on the drawers. I gotta cut these screws. My screws are too long, but yeah. I'm probably gonna wait till tomorrow. It's getting dark out, and I'll put paint on everything. And then I'll do the handles and the LED lights, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, we went and got some black grab and go paint. It's flat black. I was gonna do bed liner on the whole thing, but to do the bed liner right now is gonna be too expensive. So I'm just gonna do it in this for now, and then at some point I will redo it with bed liner. So let's get that mixed up and start painting. Okay, the car is painted. I'm just waiting on it to dry. This is painted, the inside's dry, the outside's not. I'm using some undercoating, some rubberized undercoating on the fronts of the drawers. So I'm waiting on that to dry. But while this is all drying, let's throw these LED lights in the drawer. I got 2 boxes, one for each drawer. So let's do that. All right, and just like that, we got LED lights on both of them. I can change the color, because it's the ones that have color changing. It'll most likely be on white at all times, just because that's the brightest. And then I need some double-sided Velcro, so I can Velcro power banks to right here, so I can be able to just recharge them and have lights without having to hardwire them. So yeah, last thing I need to do is throw the handles on these. Once they're completely dry, throw them in the car, and then show you guys the finished product. So let's do that. All right, and just like that, got both the handles on. They're not centered, I don't care. But yeah, I'm gonna go throw these in the car. Then once it's dark out, I'll show you guys the drawers with the lights on. And then tomorrow morning, once it's light out, I will show you the complete finished product of my bed system. All right, and then this is how bright the drawer systems are at nighttime. So you can see exactly what you're trying to grab. Even with the different colors, they look good. But yeah, I'll show you guys what the whole thing looks like when it's not dark out. And just like that, this build is fully complete. Everything's all painted up. I even painted the inside, or the underside. I didn't paint this underside because, I mean, are you really ever gonna see that besides loading things up? But Got the space all the way back there. It goes here, then it dips up for the third row, and there's some storage there. All this storage here. Got the drawer systems. But yeah. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this build, hit the subscribe button. And don't judge, because I'm not a woodworker. I hope you enjoyed.